Hey everyone, welcome to Product X. I'm Rena, your host. Today we're decoding a startup that's cracked one of Pharma's most painful bottlenecks. Octozi, an AI health tech company, just closed a $3 million seed round led by Surface Ventures. They automate the notoriously messy data cleaning and verification process for clinical trials, which traditionally takes months of manual work. The founder team includes ex-pharma veterans, and they're going after a market where every day of delay costs drug companies millions. Vivian, want to kick us off?
Hey Rena, thanks for having me. I'm Vivian, a senior angel investor at PreAngel Fund, focusing on early stage B, 2B SaaS and health tech. Really excited to dig into the money side of this. The time economics behind clinical trials is absolutely fascinating.
Nolan, your turn.
Hi everyone, I'm Nolan. I spent years building large-scale systems at a major Silicon Valley tech company, so I love getting into the weeds of how these AI pipelines actually work under the hood. This one has some serious architectural challenges worth unpacking.
So here's the puzzle. $3 million doesn't go far in AI these days. That's barely enough for compute. But top VCs are betting big on what seems like incredibly traditional, unglamorous work, cleaning clinical trial data. Vivian, what's the financial angle here that makes this worth backing?
Yeah, the key is that you absolutely cannot think about this like a B2C play. In pharma, there's this brutal concept called the patent cliff. Once a drug gets FDA approval, the company only has about a decade of exclusivity. Here's the kicker. For every single day you get that drug to market earlier, you're looking at an extra $1 to $8 million in net profit. That's not small change, that's massive. And the data cleaning phase, what they call database lock, is often the thing that stretches from months to over a year. So Octozi isn't selling software, they're selling time to market. If their AI can compress a 3-month cleanup into 2 weeks, pharma giants like Pfizer will pay millions annually without blinking. That's the leverage capital is betting on.
Exactly. And from the engineering side, this is where it gets really interesting. Medical data is notoriously heterogeneous. You've got electronic health records, lab results from different systems, wearable data, all in completely different formats. The old way was armies of data managers writing SAS scripts to run edit checks, manually reviewing thousands of lines. Octozi's approach uses a biomedical fine-tuned LLM to do semantic mapping into the FDA's SDTM standards. That's the first piece. The second is anomaly detection. Their system can spot impossible values, like a blood pressure reading that's physiologically impossible, and auto-generate queries to physicians in real time. That's a huge shift from waiting until the trial ends to do cleanup.
So you're saying the AI doesn't just clean data, it actually catches errors as they happen?
Right. Traditionally, all that validation happened post-trial, which meant months of backlog. Octozi's model distributes that workload across every single day of the trial. That's the real value proposition.
Let me add something on the commercial side. Because they're automating what used to require huge CRO teams, their unit economics are incredibly strong. Once they land a few pilot programs with major pharma companies, the renewal rates should be near 100%. They're essentially carving out a lucrative chunk from legacy players like Veeva and Metadata.
But there's a huge compliance hurdle, right? This is FDA-regulated stuff.
Oh, this is the make or break point. The FDA has 21 CFR Part 11, which requires every single data modification and every AI decision to have a complete, immutable audit trail. The AI can't be a black box. Octozi has to implement a strong, human-in-the-loop architecture where the AI suggests corrections, but a medical expert must always confirm them. If the system unilaterally changes critical efficacy data and invalidates a trial, that's game over. A big chunk of that $3 million seed money has to go towards security certification and model explainability.
And that's exactly why this is a defensible business. The compliance barrier is incredibly high. It's not just about building a better model. It's about building a model that satisfies regulators. That takes time and money, and it keeps competitors at bay.
So the moat isn't just the technology, it's the regulatory trust.
Precisely. The technology can be replicated, but the regulatory approvals and the audit trail infrastructure, that takes months of work and deep domain expertise. That's where Octozi has a real edge.
I'd also say the data network effects matter. The more clinical trials they process, the better their models get at recognizing anomalies and mapping different data formats. Early adopters essentially help train the system for everyone else.
That's a solid flywheel. Now let's talk about the market size. How big is this opportunity exactly?
The global CRO market is worth tens of billions annually, and data management is a significant chunk of that. With pharma companies desperate to shorten timelines because of the patent cliff, any solution that demonstrably speeds up trials is going to command premium pricing. We're talking about a multi-billion-dollar addressable market here, easily.
And it's not just the direct savings. If you factor in the opportunity cost of getting a blockbuster drug to market earlier, the ROI for pharma is enormous. That's why they're willing to pay.
All right, let's shift gears. Lightning round time. Quick fire questions. Vivian, first one. What's the single biggest risk for Octozi right now?
Execution risk. Landing those first few pilot programs with major pharma is critical. If they can't prove real-world results quickly, the window closes.
Nolan, same question from your angle.
Regulatory risk. If they can't get 21 CFR Part 11 compliance nailed, they're dead in the water. No pharma company will touch them.
Okay, second question. What's one thing about clinical trials that would surprise most people?
How much of the process is still manual and paper-based, despite all the technology? It's shocking.
How long it actually takes to get a drug to market. We're talking over a decade from initial research to approval. The data cleanup is just one piece of that massive timeline.
Third question. If you could change one thing about pharma R&D, what would it be?
The incentives around data sharing. There's so much redundant work because companies don't collaborate on foundational data issues.
The regulatory overhead. It slows everything down, but it's there for good reason. It's a tough balance.
Fourth. Prediction time. Will AI completely replace human data managers in clinical trials within 10 years?
Not completely, but it'll automate 90% of the work. Humans will still be in the loop for critical decisions.
Exactly. The human in the loop isn't going away. AI will augment, not replace.
Last one. If Octozi succeeds, who loses the most?
Traditional CROs that rely on cheap labor for data cleaning. They'll face massive pressure to automate or die.
Legacy EDC vendors like Viva and Metadata, if Octozi can prove the model works at scale.
Vivian, give us a one-sentence summary of today's deep dive.
Octozi is betting on the fact that, in pharma, time is literally money, and their AI platform can claw back months of delays in clinical trials. A prize worth billions.
Nolan?
They're building a technically demanding but strategically brilliant wedge into a highly regulated industry where solving the data cleaning problem creates massive value. If they can nail compliance.
That's a wrap. Thanks to Vivian for breaking down the capital dynamics, and to Nolan for the hardcore architectural deep dive. If you want more Product X decoding of the next unicorn, hit subscribe and join us next time. See you then.